Jefferson Robbins for NCWLIFE. It's election season again. We're following contested races up and down the Wenatchee Valley. One of those is on the Eastmont School Board. Jason Heinz is the incumbent in Eastmont School Board Position 3. He joins me now. How you doing, Jason?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me, Jefferson.
I appreciate you being here. I wanted to ask you, you're the incumbent for Position 3. You've been there about 4 years, I believe?
Yep, so I'm just coming up on finishing up my first term, which is a 4-year term.
Okay. Can you sort of introduce yourself to me as if you were speaking to a voter in the Eastmont School District, somebody who's in a position maybe to put you back in for your next term? What would you tell them?
Yeah, so my name is Jason Heinz. I currently work for the U.S. Forest Service, been working with the U.S. Forest Service for 27 years in workforce development. I'm on the wildland fire management side of the house, or so to speak. Part of my job is hiring permanent firefighters to fight fires during the summertime, and then also going out and helping during fire season. So that's my day job. And then I have 2 beautiful daughters, one that just graduated from Eastmont High School last year and just moved her into college last week at Eastern Oregon University, where she has an opportunity to play softball. And so that was a big milestone and a change in life for us. I also have a younger daughter that is a freshman at Eastmont High School. Yeah, so she's thriving. She's playing slow pitch softball right now. They play Wenatchee tomorrow. Yeah, so excited for that. I've been part of Eastmont School Board. Like I said, this is my first term. I'll be finishing up my first 4 years. I also am part of the East Wenatchee Events Board, which takes basically local tourism taxes and divvies it out to sporting events that bring what we call heads and beds. And so that is something else that I do. I'm also part of the NCW Sun Devils Fast Pitch organization as their facilities manager. So what I do is I schedule through the school districts, both Wenatchee, East Wenatchee, and local city parks, playing time for them to be able to practice. Yeah, and I enjoy what I do. Yeah.
So you're finishing up this year, your first term on the Eastmont School Board. You've seen how things work on the board. You've seen how the district operates and what kind of resources it needs. Why do you want to rejoin the board or remain on the board for another 4 years? What made you decide to run again?
Yeah, what made me decide to run again and to hopefully keep my seat is I think we're moving in the right direction. We just hired a new superintendent about a year and a half ago. So that's good. We have good momentum. We have renewed energy. And we're moving in the right direction, in my opinion. We just got done approving May of 24 our strategic plan. So there's 3 pillars within the strategic plan. Sorry,
okay.
I'm a little nervous right now, so I apologize for that. But yeah, so the 3 pillars is literacy and math. So gaining proficiency in literacy and math is the first pillar. The second pillar is high instruction for each student. And the third one is being connected and feeling of belonging and engagement for each student. And over the last year, we've had increases in our math, ELA, and science scores.
And so you feel like you're on a good trajectory?
We are on a good trajectory. Like I said, renewed energy, renewed focus. Things are looking, in my opinion, up. We're a desirable district for teachers. Our teachers have on average 13 to 14 years of teaching credentials. So we're a district that folks want to come to. And we're doing well within our budget as well.
Those are the positives that you've identified, but there's got to be challenges facing the district. So when you look ahead down the road 4 years at the kind of things that the board is likely to be voting on, what do you think are going to be some of the obstacles facing you?
Yeah, some of the things that I am trying to wrap our heads around and trying to get is attendance right now. We're still trying to rebound, unfortunately, from COVID, of getting kids to school. Right now, we are only about 70% of kids being in school 90% of the time, and so that's something that we need to address, and we need to get kids into school, because if they're not there, they're not learning, and that's the big thing. We have an 88% graduation rate right now, which is higher than the state average, which is really good, but we really need to get kids into school and have them learning.
This federal administration has sort of tried to move away from the educational granting process, where districts receive grants for things like migrant education, multilingual education, and after-school programs. I don't know if Eastmont has encountered any of that uncertainty in dealing with the federal government on its funding, but how should the district be positioning itself for the future to deal with possibly a lack of that kind of federal funding in upcoming years?
Yeah, and that's a great point, Jefferson. Budget understanding is another difficult task within the position that I'm in, and that's something that I also want to address or get the understanding of the public, is because some of the money that comes to Eastmont is earmarked for certain things. An example is transportation and special education. So any money that comes to us from those areas has to be used for that area. Same thing with multilingual and federal grants. We had an uncertainty of about $1 million for our multilingual stuff this year. We had checks and balances in place that we would be able to absorb most of that this year. But yeah, it's something that we need to address going forward if some of the federal funding is not given to us.
Your funding is a mix, like all school districts, is a mix of federal, state, local.
Mm-hmm.
Local's a big part of it, and the last couple of years, Eastmont has tried to pass a construction bond. Two times alone last year, and each time come in just under that 60% supermajority that you
correct,
need to.
Yeah.
And so it's been kind of a heartbreaker each time. You've been within 1/10 of a percentage point, I think, in a couple of cases.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that bond's going to come back up again. And if so, Jason, how do we get across that threshold? How do you get more of the public in the Eastmont School District to buy into the idea of reconstructing, revising, re-engineering some of your troubled schools that need that kind of upgrade?
Yeah, our schools are aging, that's for sure, Jefferson, and you are correct. We have in the last 2 or 3 years ran 3 bonds, and they have unfortunately failed. And I think a lot of it is education to the public. Folks, the river divides us, and so we want to make sure that Eastmont is, our own entity, meaning that, what we do over on East Wenatchee is good, and just getting the public educated on our bonds. A lot of misconceptions is bonds and levies. Levies, this is the best way that I can describe it, is levies are what happens inside the school, and bonds are what happens outside of the school, meaning your infrastructure and all that stuff, your HVAC, your buildings type of stuff. We do have 3 aging schools, in our district, and we're trying to get them to either be more functional, as well as more safe. A couple of those schools, Kenroy and Cascade, have a bunch of outside doors that lead to the outside, and which is a potential threat. And so it's just education to the public and letting them know that the money that they're investing in the district is being used wisely.
And you're right about that distinction between levy and bond. People will say, well, I just voted for the levy.
Correct.
What'd you do with all that money? Why
Correct.
can't you use that for the school re-engineering that you need?
Right.
But
correct.
That's not what it's for.
Yeah, levies are usually a 4-year term, and then a bond is a 20-year. And so it's stretched out, it's a larger money base, right? But it's stretched out over a 20-year period. And then it's all based on assessed value of your home within the assessed value of Eastmont School District. It's just education to the public, and getting their perspective, right, and figuring out what they want to talk about, and what they need to hear or see from us to be able to get it to pass. You're right. Two times ago, we were within 37 votes of passing it. So we have the majority, over 50%, but we don't have the supermajority, and it's what we need to get across the finish line to that supermajority, because we're going to have to get there eventually, and it's just picking out what the right dollar amount is for the right tax rate.
Are there other priorities, Jason, aside from the things that we've talked about, things that you want to get across the finish line for the district in the next 4 years if you're reelected?
Yeah, so we are looking, one thing that I want to continue to do, and it's something that I'm very passionate about, is local control. A lot of the stuff that we end up doing or have options of doing are mandated by the state. I would like to try to keep as much local control as we can within the district. We were one of the districts that was leading the amendment for the Title IX process about a year ago, and that went to the WIAA and was unfortunately voted down. So that's something that we want to continue to work on as well, or that I want to continue to work on. and then just budget understanding, getting the bond passed, and then making sure that all the kids within our strategic plan get high-level instruction, they increase math and literacy, and when they come out, no matter what they decide to do, whether it's going to college, to a junior college, going into the workforce, the military, whatever it may be, that they're ready for their life, for their career.
Now, the policy proposal that you just mentioned to the Washington Interscholastic Athletics Association
Yes.
Had to do with transgender youth competing in youth sports within school districts. And the WIAA rejected the proposal because, in their interpretation and that of the state, it didn't comply with state law.
Correct. It violated civil rights at the state law. Yeah.
Do you foresee Eastmont trying to take a position or take a leadership role in going to the legislature, which is where that would have to be
Right.
revised
So we're
at the state
continuing to
level?
look at options and opportunities to do that for sure, just like other districts are. Within that amendment, like I said, we were one of the. So there was 2 amendments that went before the WIAA. One was ours, and within that amendment, we had to have 3 to 5 or 5 other districts added on to ours that signed on to our amendment, and we got those. So there's movement, within Eastern Washington. Unfortunately, like I said, it got turned down. So just we're looking for opportunities to do so.
Is there anything else you can think of, Jason, that I didn't ask about or that you think voters should know about you, your candidacy, or the Eastmont School Board?
Yeah, so for me, I'm available anytime if you need to call or talk to me. I do have a work job and I do have kids, and so I may delay getting back to you, but I'm always open to phone calls or emails or texts. I also am here for the kids. Everything that I'm doing is for the kids. I think our school board right now, the 5 of us, have a pretty good working relationship, and that we want to move forward, and everything that we do, whether it's for policy or procedures or anything like that, is for the students.
Well, Jason Heinz, incumbent candidate for Eastmont School Board Position 3. Thanks a lot for being here today.
Thank you, Jefferson. I appreciate it.
You're watching the NCWLIFE channel.